Hi guys, my name is Grania and this is my channel Jungle Flowers Canada. Thank you so much for joining me. So today I hadn't planned a video, but I do have a few chores to do. So I'm not sure if I have enough chores to make a video, but I thought I'd do maybe I document what I'm doing, and I may have to do a couple of days and then to put a video together, because I'm not 100% sure what I need to do today, but I know I need to transplant my beautiful Pastazanum. Look at her here. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? The leaves are so healthy and gorgeous, and I am getting some new growth down here, which I hope you can see. So we know that this is a crawler, and you can see I have her in a round pot, and you can see she is starting to take off here. I hope you can see it. Maybe actually if I turn it this way you'll see it better. You can see that she's starting to grow outwards this way. So I need to put her in a wide pot as opposed to a round pot. So I just picked this pot up from Dollarama probably a year or two ago. I don't even know how long I have it, maybe a year or so ago. And I thought, okay, this will certainly do for now. Now this pot does not have holes in the bottom. And I looked around to see if I could find a tray that I could rest it in, but I had nothing that was the correct size. So for the moment, I am not going to put holes in it, but I will remind you, I am a light waterer, so I don't tend to overwater. If you are new to plants or you are a heavy waterer, I don't recommend this. I would recommend you put holes in the bottom if you have a pot like this and find some sort of a tray. So it is currently in just a regular nursery pot. And it does have holes in the bottom, and I have it in an outer. So let us take a look at what's going on here. So this was one of the plants that I imported from Ecuador in 2021. I can't remember, maybe April or so it came in 2021, and it has never missed a beat. It has been great. I did lose one of the original leaves, which is to be expected, but really it has never missed a beat. So I know it's hard for you to see the plant. Oh, I just spilled soil. So I'm going to empty it out here into my pot. And this came bare roots, so this soil is actually my own soil. Oh, wow. Look at the roots on this, guys. It is amazing. It was getting to a point where it needed to be transplanted. What's that there? There's something. Oh, that's my pole. I thought it was a tent. So I just have a bamboo pole in it for the moment. I'm just going to leave it with that at the moment, so we can see she's going to fit very nicely in there. I'm going to put her to my left, your right, because the runner is growing this way. So it will give it some more room to grow across. So I'm not going to disturb the roots. I'm just going to bottom fill the pot a little bit, or you won't be able to see what I'm doing here because she is quite top heavy. Let's just lay her down on her side for the moment. It won't do her any harm. So I'm just going to bottom fill maybe about an inch or so of soil, so it's not too far down, and then we will backfill her. So very easy. Nothing difficult about this job, thankfully. And we could probably put another little bit underneath there. So actually there's lots of room to grow in this pot. This was only $3 in Dollarama, guys. So, you know, you can't go wrong with good old Dollarama. Now, let's fill her in. This plant, I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep this plant, funnily enough. I had it out in my greenhouse. And when the plants out in my greenhouse, I love them, but I don't get to see them as often, obviously, as the ones in my house. And it was like, oh, it's getting very big. Will I get rid of it? And then I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to bring it in and put it in my kitchen. Because I made a new plant area in my kitchen. I'll actually put a picture in of it. And I actually bought the most incredible plant stand in Home Sense last night. It was like, oh God, it's gorgeous. It's really heavy. It's marble and it has a gold base on it, and it's just for 2 plants. but I bought it in Home Sense last night. Now I actually don't put this on it, but I put my other plants on it, and this sits on the ground. And you know what? I love that corner now. It looks so beautiful. And my husband's like, okay, so now the kitchen has been taken over with plants, but he's very supportive. But I do love it now in the kitchen because I get to see it, and I'm in the kitchen a lot. I mean, I'm always cooking and, you know, cleaning and whatnot, so I do get to really enjoy it. So I'm so glad that I didn't get rid of it, because I was contemplating getting rid of it. So I think it'll do even better now that I have it in here, because we can see it was time. So that's like, I've this less than a year and a bit of growth on it. It's amazing how resilient these beautiful plants are. So I'm excited now to see what it grows into. But it truly is beautiful. So glad I've decided not to get rid of it. Now, I am not the biggest fan of large leaf plants. I mean, I think they're stunning. I love them in other people's houses. But for me, they wouldn't be my number one. The ones I have, I'm perfectly happy with. There's a few that I would actually have no desire to get. Like the Repotting, the Cursiva. I don't like that one particularly. And it's not, it's not often you hear me say I don't like a plant, but I don't like the way it grows. I've seen it as it gets mature, and it can be quite messy. Did I put this? Yes, I did put it the right way. Now I'm starting to question myself because I'm talking so much. I probably should have angled it more. It looks like it's going to grow that way because I wasn't paying attention. You see the angle I have it at? It's more that way as opposed to that way. Should I change it? I don't know. Should I change it? Do I want to disturb it again? Maybe I should, guys. You know what? Let's see, I was just talking and not paying proper attention to what I was doing. If I just take the soil out of this side, I might be able to easily move it around. Yeah, but I'm quite happy with what I have in big leaf plants now. I think in other people's homes they are fabulous. I don't, but just for my own home, the few that I have, I absolutely love. I have my Monstera Thigh Constellation, my Monstera deliciosa, Philodendron Tetrasperma. I have Subphastatum, and I also have a Subphastatum variegated. Obviously I have this, I have a Crystallinum. I have a couple of large leaf plants that I love, but that's, for me, that's enough because I love my Hoya so much. Any extra space I have, I want to give to them. So I do have a Hoya order at the moment. I'm not sure when it's going to come, but it's a bit of an experimental situation. It's also from Indonesia, but we are trying a different way of shipping. So prior to this, all Indonesian plants came in through DHL. But there's a lady I know here in Canada who ships for Thailand, and she does air cargo. So we're working at the moment on trying to get her to organise the shipments. It will be more costly for sure. It's definitely more costly when you send them air cargo, but if it depends on the time of year especially, right? So if you want to guarantee that your plants are going, well, there's never a guarantee, but you know what I mean. You want to increase the chances of your plants surviving. You're better off to use air cargo as opposed to DHL. So I have a few Hoyas ordered. Hopefully they'll come. I'm not going to say too much about it until I see how it works. We have to be very careful. There have been a lot of nightmares going on at the moment with importing, and people have lost a lot of money. They have been cheated out of money. Abel from, is it Abel's Plants? I put the name of her YouTube channel here. She actually got swindled out of money. So we do need to be careful. So that's something I would stress to you guys. If you are importing, do your research. Make sure you speak to people that have used that importer. Because you know what, nobody wants to lose money. It's expensive enough, and then to run the risk that the money, that you don't get your plants. We don't want that to happen. Always, if you can, use PayPal, because at least you have some recourse with PayPal, and just be mindful. So here is our Pastazanum, I don't know, tomato, how do you pronounce it? So there we have it planted now in this pot, and we should be able to get some beautiful new roots in this. Now I'm going to pause for a moment because I need to decide what it is I'm going to do. Actually, can you guys see here my, what is it? My golden pot? No, it's not my golden pothos. It's my marble queen pothos. Can you see how long she is? So she was in my bedroom, and I knew she was so root bound, so I just up potted her last week, which I should have videoed. But I have her here now. I need to bring her back upstairs and put her in my bedroom. But she was just doing fantastically, and then her leaves started to yellow. So I knew there was something going on. So I repotted her recently as well. But I think I'm going to take a look at my prop boxes now. I want to see if any of my new Hoya cuttings have started to root, and if there's anything that I can bring upstairs. So let me pause for a moment and I shall be back. Sorry guys, you're probably going to hear a little bit of trickling water because I need to clear out my sink. What did I do in there? Oh, I was washing pon, and I do have a strainer in there, but there's actually some residue from the charcoal. So you'll hear a little dripping. I hope it isn't too irritating for you. So, this brings me so much joy. I love to open this box. So I want to let you see, oh, now, what is this? This is the problem. I put things in and I can't remember what I put in. So something here is getting a little mold. This, I'm not sure what it is. Oh gosh, that noise is annoying me. Let me just try and release some of that water. Now, I am not sure what this is. It could be, I think it's going to be fine, but if you can see there, some of the leaves are gone kind of black and moldy, but it looks like the new leaves are going to come out okay. Here we have my Jacqueline. Look at my little Jacqueline. Can you see? Let me see if I can get it to focus on it. And it is doing lovely. We'll wait till it gets a little bit bigger though before I take it out. And I can't see a huge amount of roots, so that's definitely going to stay there for a while. This was, so remember this one, I wasn't sure what it was. I think it's a Maharani. I think it's an Alocasia Maharani. Can you see it there? When it came out it was very red, so I wasn't sure, but isn't it just a perfect leaf? Look at that for a beautiful, perfect leaf. These are the Anthurium that I got from Amy, and they are doing nicely there. Can't really see a few little roots. I can see a few roots actually, so it's slowly but surely getting there. Okay, so the Philodendron Tiger Tooth Ring of Fire is continuing to put out leaves, and the variegation is actually beautiful. Look at those half moon variegated leaves, and I'm really proud of this one, that she's still hanging in. But these are the ones I wanted to check. So I have my variegated Heuscheliana in here. I have that, what's that? I have the Polyneura that my daughter's puppy bit off my plant. And I also have a little piece of Linearis that was in my own pot that wasn't doing great. So I wanted to see how the roots were doing on these, to see if we had any activity. And as much as I won't actually, oh, I can see some roots, definitely the Polyneura. You can actually see the roots on the stem of the Polyneura. Can you see the stem there? And I'm curious to see how the other two are, but I'm going to resist the temptation to disturb them. I can see roots here definitely on the Polyneura roots so easily, guys. It is like the quickest plant ever. The growth is amazing on it. So as I said, I'm going to resist. Actually, I'm wondering, that Linearis doesn't know. You know what, I'm glad actually I checked this. So that piece of stem of the Linearis looks like it's rotted. It has. So let's pull off that piece. Let's cut it and let's put a new piece in. So I'm just going to pull off, can you see there? Just going to pull off these leaves to expose a node. And I'm going to try this one again. Maybe I'll try this in its own little pot. Yeah, so I'm glad actually I looked closer at that. I think the other two are fine. I think the Heuscheriana is fine. So I'm just going to pop this in here. And scoop. And fill it up with pan. Now remember, this pan is homemade, guys. I will put a link in the descriptions on how I made it. So there is no fertilizer in this. But I don't worry about fertilizer when I'm rooting. It doesn't really need fertilizer, it just needs water. Okay, so there we go. I have repotted up the linearis. They do, I'm just going to give it an, oh here's my watering can. They do, linearis does actually root quickly as well. So just put a little bit of water there. Oh, I have holes in it. So let's pop that down there. Now one of these has quite a large, like a bulbous bulb in it, and I'm wondering if this is it here. And I pulled it out and it was starting to root because I didn't know what it was, and I still don't know what it is, but I think it might be this one because I see some growth. You probably won't be able to see it, but there's like the tiniest little bit of growth coming here. So something is appearing. And then the others, I think, are possibly just alocasia bulbs. So there's two with nothing appearing yet, but I think they, as I say, they might be alocasia bulbs. So we will leave those in there. And there's nothing ready really to come upstairs yet. And possibly this Maharani could go up actually. I might put this in one of my IKEA cabinets, but I'll wait because I've ordered new shelves, guys. It's going to be an exciting video. I ordered shelves from a company in the US. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I did a group order with a couple of friends and we are waiting for them to come up, and the shelves look fabulous. They're acrylic with like there's slits in the acrylic to let the moisture circulate. So I decided I would try them. As I say, we did a group order and they have already been shipped, so I'm hoping we'll have them in a week or so. And at that point I'm going to take apart my cabinets. I'm going to give them a really good cleaning, and then I'm going to put in the new shelves. I'll have to attach the lights to it, and then I may come down and do a couple of little pickings from here. I might actually bring the what is she called? The Jacqueline up and put her in one of the IKEA cabinets so that I can enjoy her. I much prefer to have my plants upstairs rather than down here, obviously. Like, it is fun to come down and look at them, but the end goal is to get them all onto my main living area so that I can walk around and check on them. So that is this pot here. In here is just kind of a mishmash. There's nothing overly exciting in here. I have, well this is exciting if it takes off. This is the Scindapsus jade, which I got from Paula, and I have it down here hoping I will get some leaf growth. Look at the roots coming out of the node there. I hope you can see this. I hope it's not all blurry. So that is in there. This is, oh, it is the Rosita. So this is one of my little Rositas. I have a big Rosita and this one started to decline. So I decided to put it in here to see if I can save it. I'm not sure if that will save. This here is my Breviolata. So some of it started to decline. So I decided to put it in here as well. This is great for plants that, you know, are going through a little struggle. It does tend to help them come back. This is one of my Gigas. The other one I think is a goner. This just seems to really need humidity. It really needs humidity. And this is my lovely Hoya that actually was doing good when it arrived, but for some reason it has declined, and I know it begins with a W. I think it may be gone, but I just thought I'd give it one last stitch in here and see if any of it comes back. I'm not sure if it's Walliniana or something like that. I will put the name on the screen. But it actually came, it was a nice big plant. It came from Indonesia, and it looked like it was going to do very well. And then it just suddenly declined. But there's still a little bit of green in those leaves. So let's just hold out, and hopefully, I'll just cut off these dead leaves here. Hopefully something will come back. If I even got one strand, I'd be happy. It doesn't look like anything is happening as at the moment. I think that one's definitely gone, but if I could even get one strand to survive, that would be amazing. Let me just cut this because it's broken. They're so thin, I can't see if they're woody or not. But anyway, we will. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. And this is like, I have had no luck with this plant at all. I'd say it's well and truly gone, but again, we leave it in there for now. This is the brandy, the Brantianum, Philodendron Brantianum. No. And it just did not like me. Well, there's a little bit of green on there, so let's leave it in there and see what happens. I'll push it back down with my little handy dandy tool. I love this little tool. See this one here for making little holes first. Perfect for jobs exactly like this. It might actually come back. Let's just cut off the dead pieces and let's stick it back down there and see if we can get. But I think it seems to be a difficult one, unless you have it in a greenhouse, unless you're giving it a designated space with high humidity. It certainly doesn't like to be just left in a room. Well, that has been my experience with it. So that's that pot, or back pot, that's that container. But it's kind of my rehab container. And if they survive, they survive. If they don't, we gave it a good try. Okay, so let's put this back. I have one more container, which I'm sure nothing is going to happen with. I am really not holding out any hope at all for this. This is the Anthurium veitchii. We've got some nice grass going in here. And it was a chunk. Can you see the chunk? And I'm really not holding out. It came with a leaf. I thought that was something on it, but that was just a bit of grass. It came with a leaf, and the leaf did hold on for a while, and then eventually it started to deteriorate, and I don't know if this is rotten or not, but you know, it's not doing any harm. We'll just leave it there, and if it does nothing in a year, I'll throw it out. That's a long time to give a plant, isn't it? But it's not taking up any valuable real estate, so we'll just leave it under here. So I do need to water all my plants down here. You can see in the background I have all my outdoor plants. So these all go back out in the summer. There's palms, there's monstera, there's alocasia, there's a bird of paradise, the corn plants, but I'm very bad at watering them. I neglect them so terribly because I don't come down here that often. And then underneath all of these are my beautiful succulent pots. And actually I was going to transplant my Stapelia. I was going to put my Stapelia into a pot. I have it in a hanging basket. So actually let's do that now. And I was going to bring my Stapelia upstairs and put it out in my greenhouse. So this is my Stapelia. And I've had this for probably 3 years. It's never bloomed for me. Does it have scale? Is it scale or some sort of a rust? It looks like it might have some sort of a rust on it. So I think I'll treat it with alcohol and see. It's bone dry. I'll treat it with alcohol and see if I can remove it. There are some that are nice and healthy and green. So let's take this out and put it into a pot. I'll put it actually into the pot that I had the Pastazanum in, and I'll bring it upstairs because I was actually thinking if it ever flowered I would never know. Well, I would because I'd smell it, but you know what I mean, I wouldn't get to see it unless I was down here. So I thought, let's do this. These are those Costco gloves, they're fantastic. They're definitely worth picking up for, you know, doing your plants and your gardening. I will be totally redoing my landscape again this year. So I did it 3 years ago and it was really beautiful. I used a lot of stones and I have a lot of sedums out there, but it definitely needs to be redone. So this year I thought in the summer I will redo my front and my back garden. So if that's something you'd like me to document with you, let me know and you can join me on that. I love it, and I put out like all my succulents in the summer, and I put my agaves out, and I think they look beautiful. I don't know if anybody else does, but like I say, it's all down to your own personal taste. You do what is good for you, not for what is good for anybody else, right? So we should never feel pressured to do or change the way we run our plant life. We should never be pressured by other people. You do what is good for you. It doesn't matter if you don't have the most expensive plants, if you don't have the most beautiful plants, you don't have the biggest plants. It doesn't matter. It's only what makes you happy that matters. So please don't, you know, I don't have the most magnificent collection, but I do have some beautiful plants. So don't ever look at me and think I need to have that. You do you, and I'll do me, right? Because I do think sometimes social media has pressured us all in ways that isn't probably not the healthiest. Let's face it. So you can see gorgeous roots on all of these. And the Stapelias are one of those, they're similar to a succulent. Like literally, if I just cut the top off this and gave it the right conditions, it would reroot. So I am looking here to see, is there, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's just because it's older growth, because it's 3 years old, but I will treat it before I put it out in my greenhouse. So you can see I have like a lot of pieces of this. Lots of nice pieces, so we will pot them up in this pot. I think it will look better because, as I say, I used to hang them out in my back garden in the summer, but you couldn't really enjoy them. So I think this year I will just put them on my deck so that I can enjoy them better. Now I'm after getting tons of roots in here, so I'll have to do a bit of sifting, but it's okay. I'm going to use most of this for potting them back in. So you can see I am not, you know, I just do my thing. I'm probably not the most articulate or perfect plant parent. Like, there's lots of roots in here, but to me it doesn't matter. I'm just going to pot these up as best I can. Okay, so they can be quite shallowly, is that a word? They can be planted shallow, they don't need to go deep. Does that make sense? Because they are of a succulent nature. And if any of you watch Laura Eubanks, oh my god, I love that woman. Love, love, love Laura Eubanks. I love to listen to her talk. She's so knowledgeable. So you can see that would have been a cutting I put in. So see the way there's a lot of the Stapelia underneath. So that would have been a cutting I put in here a couple of years ago. So you can see how they work. It seemed to be all leaning. So I guess the light was a certain way. Again, look, we have a lot of the plant in there now. If I was living in Laura Eubanks' neck of the woods, as she calls it, the land of milk and honey, I could just cut these and start rerouting them again. But I live in Canada. I live in Canada, so I don't have that luxury. I may not even put them all in here. I may put some of them into my big pots. You can see the way they're lying sideways. See the way the roots are coming? They're lying sideways, so I'm just going to lay them back that way. Let's put a little soil in here to steady this up. I actually saw, if you watch another lovely Canadian YouTuber, her channel's called Life of Bellina, I think, Life of Bellina. and she does a lot of tours. I love, again, another amazing voice to listen to. I love listening to her. And the reason that I decided to do this was she was at Harper's the one I watched last night, she was at Harper's, and they had this for sale there, and I went, oh, you know what, I should pay some attention to mine, because I've had it a long time. It's never flowered for me because it really just gets neglected. It doesn't get the most ideal conditions. So, and that kind of sparked my decision to plant this. Well, at least I had the idea to do it last night, and I almost forgot until I started talking about my succulents. So it's looking pretty shoddy here. I have a lot of dead pieces to take out, and these roots are looking quite wayward. But I think that's all I'm going to put in the pot for now, because there's a lot of pieces there. So let's top it up with soil, and let's get this out into my greenhouse so that I can enjoy it. It's the only thing I sometimes miss out on a lot of plants that are underneath here because I don't get to see them very often. So I thought, let's bring this baby upstairs. So you can see, you don't, like, succulents are so forgiving. You could plant them upside down, I swear to God. Well, maybe not upside down literally, but they're so forgiving. Anything in the succulent family. Is Stapelia considered a succulent? I'm not 100% sure. I'd say probably more of a cactus. It's probably more closely related to a cactus than a succulent. But you can manhandle these plants. They're very tolerant of abuse, within reason, of course, but you know, they're certainly not delicate like an orchid, that's for sure. So I think actually we have the makings of a video, guys. Just a little bit of content. Sorry guys, my battery went flat and my grandson keeps taking my replacements out of the charger, and I couldn't find one to finish the video yesterday. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to ask below. If you watched till the end, don't forget to put that green heart emoji in the comments. Thank you again so much for joining me. And just to remind you that part 3 of my Hoya mini series will be coming up shortly, so please look out for that. Take care, guys.